you're sitting here saying that you can't take no for an answer, then sweetheart, then there's the door. If you're going to really leave your husband over the fact that he doesn't want to have more kids, you're pathetic. Can someone please tell me why John Delony is giving the kind of marriage advice that's going to have people filing taxes separately by the spring? Yes, I dyed my hair. I know I look like a skank. Total skank. It's okay. I've accepted it. Say hi to the camera. Angel. This is Angel. Look up here. Hey, I'm a ragamuffin. She's a rag of something. Come here. She's fat, so it's going to take me a second. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, look at the camera. And look at the camera. She has a very vicious purr. She'll probably be in my lap for the entirety of this video, so. All right. We got to get started. Pat, 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 butt, 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 butt. She likes that. Butt, 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 butt. You like that butt? Don't bite. Don't. Stop, you heathen. She's such a monster. For some reason, she really likes biting metal. She's always been that kind of cat. I have no idea why. Like, she enjoys biting metal. She's weird. Come on. I have to film. You have to sit. Oh, jeez. See, my child is grown and out of the house now, and now I have to take care of her. She's my other child, and then our two horses are also my children, so there you go. Ah. That was my leg. She stabbed me. Little daggers in my legs. Y'all, I just sat through 13 minutes of John Delony explaining how to negotiate your way into having a third baby like you're trying to buy a used car. I swear this dude went from therapist to fertility salesman in under 5 minutes. Buckle up, because I've got a feeling that some of you are going to be just as surprised as I was at what he said. I actually think he's lost his mind this time. Now, before I get to the video, I want you guys in the comments, hopefully you will comment on this video. Hopefully I'm not just speaking into the void again. I want you to tell me whether or not this source screen is okay for me reacting to videos, or if you prefer this one. If you prefer this one, just say, okay, this is the first one, okay? So just say number 1 or number 2. It seems like I'm getting more responses and more feedback and more views on this style of screen. So just let me know down in the comments, because I genuinely don't know which you guys would prefer, because this one, I understand that it has an animated video playing in the background that might annoy some of you or make you dizzy or whatever. So just let me know down in the comments, okay? Brr, it's cold as a barn in my room. So John jumps in with advice that sounds a lot like persuasion coaching. That's just my opinion. Let's get into it.
My question is about when you have a different image of what the future looks like with your spouse.
Okay, tell me more.
So specifically, my husband and I have 2 children today. They're under the age of 5. We feel extremely blessed, and we're just kind of soaking it up together. However, I would like a third child, and he is a hard no. And I know that it would be chaos and hardship to bring another kid into the family. But I also know it would be beautiful. I just don't want to push him to a place of resentment if we do take the plunge.
So how have you all talked about it?
Well, for context, my husband has never really been a hard yes on anything. Like, I've kind of led us into the future on all of the big life steps, from moving in together, getting married, pets, kids, all of it. So whenever I bring it up, it's like a knee-jerk reaction. It's an absolute no. The 2 things he brings up, which are very valid points, are obviously the financial burden of another kid, and then
exactly
the fact that the first year of both kids' lives was just an extremely hard chapter on our marriage.
Yeah.
So I haven't really pushed him past that.
I think the first one.
Okay, first of all, I'm just going to say this. When someone says no, point blank period, to having a baby, that's not even a conversation anymore. They're just setting a very clear, resolute boundary. He didn't say he'd think about it. He didn't say that, let's revisit this in a couple of years. He said no. Girl, did your mama not tell you what no means? No means no. Now, I'm making a lot of prejudgments, but I bet she's the type that repeatedly pesters him about it, and then she wonders why in the Sam Hill that he won't talk to her for a week at a time. And then ends up going to his car and turning on the radio on the weekend and drinking in the driveway.
I think the first one I don't care about. I mean, I think about how our parents, they had nothing. And when it comes to that kind of stuff, you figure it out. I'm not worried about the financial part of that. And I know that sounds callous and insecure, but parents have been, quote unquote, figuring that out for centuries, for thousands. Like that's less of an issue for me.
Yes, but if you have the choice, if you're in the position to have the choice, then you get to make that choice.
I'd much rather give up a fancy car or a fancy house or fancy fill in the blank than that. The second one is a much realer conversation. He's got a lived experience twice in the last 5 years. He's watched his wife suffer. He's felt his marriage go underwater. And I think to have this conversation, there's going to have to be another picture painted of here's how this might be different. When you say, tell me about, I mean, when you say your marriage was really tough for the year after both kids, tell me about that.
Both of our babies had colic, reflux, the whole nine. So it's just a really challenging chapter, taking care of them and navigating the new space together as parents. And I thought the second time around.
And he doesn't want to have to go through that again because, and as beautiful as bringing a child into this world is, it is desperate. It's terrible. It's terrible for the baby and it's terrible for you, obviously.
Easier because we knew what we were doing, but it just still wasn't.
It gets better.
I felt like he, was a little bit not ready to take that plunge into kid two. And then I encouraged it. And now he loves both of our kids and he's so happy. He's so grateful that we did it. It was temporarily really hard.
Yeah.
Future page here. Look, I'm going to insert a few snippets of past page because a while back I tried to do this same video, but I was far more fierce than versus this most recent recording that you're watching. So I just wasn't satisfied with how it turned out, and I had black crap all over my eyelids, so there's that. Okay, so the guy was hesitant to even have a second child. Of course, he loves the baby now. He loves the kid now. He was hesitant to have a second, so what in your brain made you actually believe that he would be totally on board with having a third whenever he had reservations about the second? If a man does not want to continue having children with you, don't push it. All you're doing is pushing him into a corner and pushing him away from you, and he's going to just resent you. And then now you're going to resent him, just for the fact that he's not going to do what you want him to do. But if the shoe was on the other foot and this was a man calling, pressuring his wife into having children, like, oh, well, that's different because they carry it. No, it's not. It's still the same thing. Even though she carries the child, putting pressure on someone to have kids is never right. It's always wrong.
So while I know we'll overcome that hard chapter, I just worry. I know we'll overcome it. I think it's the hesitancy for him. And I'm like you with the financial piece, but he's not. He really does care about the nice car, the nice things, and wants to have that money available to do those things. So I haven't pushed it. I've just kind of sat with this for a year now, and I just don't know that I'm okay closing that door and being done.
And so I think that's the true, honest conversation. And I think the true, honest conversation is, I want us both to sit down and put both of our feelings on the table. And I think it helps for one person, and it can be you in this moment, to say, hey, I'm not leaving you and you're not leaving me. So we're anchored into this conversation. So let's explore this in a challenging way. And it might mean that you need to get a counselor just to have a neutral third party to make sure everybody's hearing what the other person is saying. But I think it's fair to say, I have this very clear picture of 15 years.
Right. She's rambling about her different vision of the future, which in translation means like she has this Pinterest board full of 3 perfectly matching sets of pajamas while he's hiding his vasectomy brochure in the glove box, right? He doesn't want to do it. At least that's what I'm hearing. He doesn't want anything to do with this, okay? But it gets better. I'm telling you, keep watching.
From now, 20 years from now, and there's, I don't know, do you have sons or daughters right now?
Daughters.
Okay, we have 2 daughters and a son sitting around a table, or 3 daughters sitting around a table with their knuckleheaded boyfriends or fiancés or getting ready for college, whatever that world looks like.
We get it, John. Hallmark called. They need their Happy Holidays movie script back, bud.
I have a very clear picture in my mind of that. And right now, it feels.
I feel like I've exactly said that, actually.
And what does he say?
I've said when I see our table, years from now, I feel like there's another person at the table. And he's like, well, I don't, I never saw myself having any more than 2 kids. And he's just closed off to the conversation. But
Okay.
I mean, as somebody who's convinced him to do many things, I can't really take that for a hard no, because
You just said it. I am not a proponent for divorce, but if you're sitting here saying that you can't take no for an answer, then sweetheart, then there's the door. If you're going to really leave your husband over the fact that he doesn't want to have more kids, you're pathetic. I'm sorry to be so harsh, but you're pathetic. That shows how lacking in character and integrity that you are. And you really don't love him. You're using him as basically a baby factory that he can just provide to you. That's what it tells me. Women.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right?
Many months later.
So she's been the captain of this cruise ship the whole time, right? But now she's mad that the co-captain wants to dock the boat. And she's not hearing him. She's not respecting him. She's not respecting his wishes whatsoever. Here's what you ladies need to learn how to do. Now, pay attention, because what I'm going to say is very important, okay? Follow your man's lead. He is the head of the family for a reason, unless you married an idiot who can't tie his shoes without face planting. In that case, you made your own bed, okay? You made your bed. You married an idiot.
him change his mind.
Okay, well then have that conversation.
Okay.
What you don't want to do is ever have any partner, male or female, like either of you, feel like they are being dragged through their own life. But it is a fair conversation to say, hey, I feel like I've pushed you on getting together, on getting married, on kid 1, on kid 2, and I feel like I've been right every time. And so I'm feeling like I want to keep pushing because I have this picture of our family and I see what a great dad you are. I see how full you are with love and connection with these crazy daughters of ours. And
it sounds like they're not effective communicators, because if she's having to push him, why didn't she just sit down with him and say, do you want to do this? Like, you need to make it clear to me that you want to keep dating, that you want to get married, that you want to move in, that you want to have children. Let's sit down and actually flesh all of this out, because she's saying that she's had to push him, kind of, nudge him in those directions. And if she's had to do that, then they're not very effective communicators. I'm sorry, but they're not.
But also, I feel like a fancy car is more important than this. And I mean, just put it on the table and have that conversation. I can't give you.
He's totally getting this wrong, because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of men that I know that have stopped either at baby 2 or baby 3, and it was because they put their foot down and said they didn't want any more kids. Okay, and I totally understand that.
149 on this deal. I know that at some point, if he looks at you and for the first time in y'all's relationship together gives you a really hard no, then you have a decision to make. Am I going to live in resentment and frustration?
You should already have made that decision, sweetheart, because he's already given you a hard no. And look, I get it. Baby fever does hit hard. I understand. Let me tell you a little short story, or if you don't want to listen, just fast forward it, okay? Whenever my husband and I got married, my daughter had already graduated high school. His daughters, his kids, were already grown and having children of their own. So by the time we got married, because he is so much older than I am, we made the conscious decision to not have children, and say, if it was 10, 15 years ago, maybe, right? But we decided it wouldn't be fair. We're in a very unique position. That's why. But I understand the baby fever part, because I was actually questioning that decision for a while, because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to have that connection with you. I want that connection with him, right? Like, to be able to share a living being, knowing that we created life together, knowing how special that is. I wanted to share, because it's forever, right? I wanted to be able to share that connection, because it is a completely different connection, right? I wanted to be able to share that with him. But even after I thought about it again, I was like, you know what? Still, it wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair to the siblings. It wouldn't be fair to the baby, and it would not be fair to him, because by the time the kid hit high school, there's no way that he would probably be able to even go fishing or go camping, or he would have already reached that too old age to be able to go do those things. Right now, he can still do all of that. I mean, he's really good looking for his age, and he is aged very gracefully. But most 69-year-olds can't do even half of what he can do. But still, the decision remained. But I understand wanting to add to your family. But sometimes you have to just accept it because it's a hard no for him. It was a maybe for me. And then I said, you know what? After we discussed it, you're right. Now, in their case, they could go on to have another one because I guess they're not very far apart in age. But if they're deciding this, if he has already made his determination, you need to respect that, sweetheart.
Am I going to hold this against him, or am I going to exhale and be really grateful for the family we have? Am I going to be deceitful and not take birth control? Like, you get to decide what your next steps are.
Did you hear what he just said? I'm going to slow this video down. I have it at 1.25. Let's go to normal, and I want you to hear what John just said.
Or am I going to exhale and be really grateful for the family we have? Am I going to be deceitful and not take birth control? Like, you get to decide what your
What did he say?
What? Okay, look, it's not different visions when one vision includes trapping a man for 18 years. Because let me tell you something. If you just pop up pregnant, no matter how you want him to feel, the reality is he is going to resent you for it, sweetheart. Sir, this woman does not need a therapist. She just needs a cold shower and a good swift smack. That's what she needs, to smack her back into reality. And John, why would you say that? Why would you even entertain that? Why would that even fly out of your mouth? That is crazy. That is insane, even for you.
steps are. My hope is that you choose to remain connected. And on the other side, if he chooses to say, like, hey, the first year after each one of these kids was such a nightmare. And if you brought on the table, we'll get some support help. We'll have a nanny. We'll have somebody move in with us. We will fill in the blank. I think the deeper conversation for me is, and tell me if I'm wrong, I heard a little bit of disdain in your voice.
I've been just sitting here. I am still just absolutely gobsmacked that he had the absolute gall to say that. It's like, John, to say that you get to decide whether you want to be deceitful and not take birth control. Why would you say that, John? Now you've put that in her head, because let me tell you something. Women who do that, they are some of the most manipulative, spiteful women on planet Earth, who do not care about their husbands, who don't care about what they think or how they feel, and they have zero respect for them. They don't care about them at all. They just care about what they can do for them and how they can provide for them, just what they can get out of them. That's all they care about. And I'm not saying that she's this way. I'm saying that the kind of women that will stop taking their birth control, right? That's the kind of women they are. Sorry, I almost ate my mic. That's just an episode of Maury waiting to happen. Why would you say that? I'm still just in disbelief. Where's the red flag guy when you need him? Like, we need him desperately for this video.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like anything financially related or materialistic is just not a good reason to do it. And, to me, there are more important things. I guess if it is like a hard no that I shouldn't push, I just struggle on how to be at peace with that and how to move forward and still stay connected, like you suggested.
I mean, you'll have to grieve that picture that you thought you were going to have. I mean, and it's a sad season. And it doesn't minimize. I think we're sold that, like, grief is some zero, right? That to grieve something fully means you have to take love away from something else. That doesn't mean you don't love and you're not super grateful for your two daughters. It's that you wanted to bring even more of that love and joy into the world. And
exactly.
Your partner said he didn't want that. But it sounds like the real thing is you don't buy, kind of like me, you don't buy the financial argument. And he doesn't regret.
Here's the thing. Any woman willing to keep pushing the issue instead of making peace with it and accepting her husband's decision, I'm sorry, but you're just not a very good wife. Yes, I'm passing judgment on her. It's my video. Shut up. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But really, why is this okay? Good wives would talk about it a few times, then see if the hubs will bring it back up again down the road. That's what good wives do. If he never changes his mind and he never brings it back up again, and you try to have a direct conversation about it, then yes, you've got your answer, and you're going to have to make peace with it, or else it's going to tear you both apart.
1 second, now that the crummy year is in the rearview mirror, he doesn't regret that.
Yeah, that's what I keep pushing on. I'm like, I know we could do this. If you say, okay, I'm in, I know we would get through it.
Okay, take the money off the table then, and maybe even say, us saying we don't have enough money simply isn't true. We are choosing to have nice cars, we're choosing to have a nice house, we're choosing to go on a nice vacation. So if that part's not true, let's move that over, because you and I are going to disagree on that. Because I think
It's just sad that this is what she's clinging to instead of the picture, the reality that she's already living in. Like she's not satisfied. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that she's not satisfied because she wants so desperately to have 3 children, and he, I would imagine, has been very clear about not wanting another child. So why can't you be content with that? Why can't you just stop there? You've got 2 daughters. Love them and pour all of yourself into them. I understand maybe wanting a son, but I didn't get to have a son. Sometimes that's just the way life works, sweetheart.
third kid is more important than driving the newest, fanciest car. So let's move that over here. The real issue is, tell me about what we lost, what you lost. Tell me about what you experienced in that year after baby 1 and that year after baby 2. Because I'm asking you because I want to see if there's things that we could put into place.
I swear, some women are just never satisfied. And she might not be coming at it from that angle. She might have purity in her heart, guys. I don't know. I'm just making the assumption because she's the one that called in, okay? But I am making a valid, very direct statement about women, about most women. They are never satisfied. Haven't you heard the joke about women not being satisfied? Let me plug that.
I learned a lot about women. I think I learned exactly how the fall of man occurred in the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, and Adam said one day, wow, Eve, here we are at one with nature, at one with God. We'll never age, we'll never die, and all our dreams come true the instant that we have them. And Eve said, yeah, it's just not enough, is it?
No, that's not funny.
I was just waiting for more.
So that was kind of his point. That's kind of what he was saying. I mean,
And joking aside, even suggesting deceit in passing over having another child, that's not guidance. That would be seen as manipulation by anyone with a pulse.
So that the year after baby number 3 might be different. And maybe that's the case, but I think it's drilling down into what is this big no about? Because it sounds like there's something else there. I don't know what that would be. But man, the year after, or tough pregnancies, or bad postpartum, or almost separation, or sleepless nights at the office and watching somebody's work performance fall, like those are all reasons to fear doing this again. I get
Getting all your daily nutrients.
YouTube. I really want to make it on this platform. But you guys put ads in the crappiest of places. Sorry guys, I've changed the speed on this video like 2 or 3 times. I apologize. If you're trying to watch my video and increasing the playback speed, I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And the year after, or tough pregnancies, or bad postpartum, or almost separation, or sleepless nights at the office and watching somebody's work performance fall, like those are all reasons to fear doing this again. I get that.
Yeah, it's all valid. It's just, I think I have been avoiding a real conversation with him on it. So I think that this is going to push me to actually have a real sit down and not just a drive-by, why don't we, you know?
What? So you're telling me that you haven't actually sat down and had a conversation with him? Wait. Me and my husband have been together almost 9 years, y'all. We got our anniversary coming up. When we first started dating, we both, to each other, made it abundantly clear as to what we wanted our future to look like, what we wanted our relationship to look like, what we wanted our marriage to look like, what our goals were, what our morals were, what our values were, what our beliefs were. We put it all on the table. Do you want any more children? No. Okay. Well, that doesn't mean that at some point I might actually want kids, but guess what? I'm going to have to just deal with that because I already knew that it'd probably be out of the question, okay? But the fact that you have refused to communicate with him and you wonder why that there is this tension between you guys now because you refuse to sit down and actually speak. What is wrong with y'all? this is something that completely baffles me as to why couples refuse to sit down and actually, especially women, they have imaginary conversations with their spouses all the time. It's true. Go look it up. There are plenty of women out there who will get mad over nothing because they've had this imaginary conversation with their husband, and they're not mind readers. They have no idea why you're angry sometimes. And it's like, all you have to do is come to me and actually talk to me. That's all you have to do. But she hasn't even talked to him about it. She's just mentioned, oh, we should have another kid. Nope. That's as far as it's gotten. That's Looney Tunes. That's Looney Tunes to me.
I think that also sends a message of seriousness to him. And do it off-site. Do it in the morning. Do it like plan it. Like, hey, I want to have not hard, but like let's have an honest conversation breakfast. Are you in? He'll be like, what? Good God.
Yeah, he's basically telling her how to set up the talk with no breakfast date. Be serious. Promise not to weaponize it. Yes, we've heard it all before, John. There's an imbalance here. It's like she's prepping a presentation and he's like mowing the yard. One of them's planning a TED Talk and the other's just trying to edge the driveway. Probably working 60 hours a week and try to provide for all of them. And, he just wants life to not get complicated again. I think that's probably where he's at.
And I want you to be direct about the money thing. That's just not true. Here's the bigger issue. And let's get into that. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I think it's looming over my head, and it's just, it has to happen.
Yeah. And for whatever it's worth, you have to promise you won't weaponize this. You promise?
What did I say?
Say I promise.
What did I say? He says that a lot. That's how I knew he was going to say it.
I promise.
I would have made that exact same argument about kid number 3, and probably the only regret I have in my whole life. I've been mean to a few people, and I wish I could have those back. The biggest, not Kelly, I'd never regret that. Probably the biggest regret I have is that we didn't have number 3.
And there it is. Projection party of one. Projection party of one. I knew there had to be some pretext buried around here somewhere. I mean, why else would he say that? He's advising from a place of guilt, not objectivity, and that's not counseling. That's like therapy karaoke. He's not actually helping her at all. He's just working through his own stuff out loud and then just calling that therapy. If you want to call this therapy, it's really not therapy. He has a habit of doing this. That's why I say that.
I did not understand.
That's the place I don't want to be.
I know, but no, I'm the husband in this situation. I'm the guy that would have been like, hey, we don't have the money. We don't have this, we don't have that. And like the first two had this challenge and that challenge. Like I would have spun up some stories. I got to finish my other degree. I've got to do this. We need to I would have had 1,000 different things. But now I have one 9-year-old and one 15-year-old. Like I just am so overwhelmed by love when I walk in my house, and I'm just so overwhelmed by it all, about how awesome and blessed I am to have 2 healthy, fun, hilarious kids and a pretty amazing spouse. And so, yeah, and the third, I would just, in my mind, it would just quadruple the fun, because I think those things ROI. They don't just, it didn't just add like a third more fun. It would add like 4x the fun. But
the call is over, by the way. He just talks about his daughter for a minute. At least that's what I recall. The birth control comment really threw me for a loop. And imagine your therapist saying to you, like, I regret not having that 3rd child, so maybe you should go through with it since I regretted it. Bro, what? How about you deal with your own unresolved regrets on your own time and actually just do your freaking job? A marriage only survives on trust, not tricks. So if you break said trust, sometimes you can never repair it. It is the very foundation on which marriage is built upon. If your spouse says no to kids, to pets, to pineapple on pizza, that doesn't mean you spend double the money by ordering 2 separate pizzas. I mean, we have done that, but it's just not very common. I'm saying just respect it. Come to a compromise. That's what marriage is about. You have to compromise, because if you cannot learn that vital and extremely valuable skill, then your marriage will most assuredly wither and die like a potted plant left on a single man's doorstep in July. Neglected, crispy, and begging Jesus for it to rain. Just forget about accidentally forgetting to take the pill and just accidentally respect your husband's wishes. Okay? Man, I would love to see the look on his face if he got to listen to this phone call. Can you imagine? He most definitely would have realized like 5 minutes into the call that his wife was manipulative and doesn't respect his decisions as a man, as a husband, or as a father. Anyway, I'll be impatiently waiting for Dr. John Delony's next episode titled How to Guilt Trip with Grace, because seems like he's really good at that. Why? I'm aghast. Bamboozled. I don't even know what to say. You cannot therapize consent, John. That's just not something you can do, okay? You can't do it. It's almost midnight. I gotta get out of here. I've got so much content coming. I'm so sorry I have not been able to keep up with my 2 videos a week. I'm working on it. It'll be a little over a week by the time I get these 2 posted, so I apologize. I'm trying. I've been watching the videos, the small creator videos and the suggestion videos of, make sure you post for 3 months straight. I promise it'll be worth it. And I think it's going to be worth it. I think I'm going to do well on this platform, especially if I can, start cutting back on my full-time job as far as cleaning houses is concerned. And actually, I have to sacrifice time to do it. I have to cut out time to do it because let me tell you something. If you really want to start a YouTube channel like I have, and I'm just a nobody right now. I've just got a handful of subscribers and a handful of views right now. If you have a full-time job and a life, like I have a husband and animals and a full-time job, you want to post at least 2 videos a week and you want to live stream and you want to do all these things, okay? And you can't afford an editor and you have to do it all yourself. I'm telling you, you're going to have to make sacrifices somewhere. You're going to have to sacrifice time with your spouse. You're going to have to cut out time. You're going to have to make less money. That way you can spend more time in here. That's just something I've had to learn how to accept because the next 6 months are going to be hell on wheels, baby. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready to just jump in head first. Maybe my niche needs to be relationships and marriage. I don't know. I want to see how people react to this video. I hope it goes well. So anyway, we'll see you in the next one. I've got it's a funny video, but it's also, I'm talking about short guys, short men. And the video is basically titled, Why Women Need Short Men, okay? Because they're most of the population. We can't forget that, okay? Anybody under 6 foot, I guess, is considered short nowadays to women. Anyway, that's what I got coming up, and I've got about 150 videos lined up. So we're gonna have some fun on this channel. I'm gonna be live streaming here the next couple weeks. I have not decided on a definitive date yet. I know in my description I have it marked for next weekend, for next Saturday. I need to get my subscriber count up to at least 50 to 60 people. So hit like, subscribe, all that jazz. Leave some comments. I'd love to hear your feedback on this because let me tell you something, John, he's kind of gone off the rails here lately. So anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.